What's up, Beaker? So we're doing like a impromptu type of podcast, not like a real official podcast. I wanted to talk about the 10 scale nationals that
I
you
only
have not
come on.
watched.
I only come on official podcasts.
Well, this is unofficial. We was going to do a Patreon only pod, but I said, let's just do this. An hour chatting about this last week. You've been doing some interesting stuff. You hurt yourself today as well. We'll talk about that. You know what though? Before we get into all of that, you gotta drop that intro, dude. You gotta drop that intro.
Nitro is the glory. Welcome to the No Name RC podcast with your host tonight, Keenan White, aka Lefty the Great, and if you are unlucky, the Finnish village idiot, JQ. This is the RC podcast with no name, but plenty of content. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some serious bench racing.
Yes, hey, before I go on any further, I have to shout out to my boy, he's a patron, Mike Driscoll. He is on me. I know I said I would fix it, dude, but I forgot. You didn't send me a reminder. You know what I'm talking about. But shout out to you. I hope you had a good time. Yes, Monday.
His name wasn't there.
Yeah, I thought I had fixed it, but I didn't. So I'm sorry, man. I'll get it up there. I hope you had a good time Monday at I think he went to Ledbury. He's in the UK. Nice dude. We talk all the time. Talk about cricket and stuff. Anyway, anybody, Nitrous to Glory, E-Buggy pays the bills. This is the No Name RC podcast. This is like an impromptu, not official, like no questions, no nothing. We was gonna do a Patreon pod, but only pod, but I decided to just do this. Catch up with Joseph. This is episode number 140. We're getting there, Joseph. We're almost at 150. That's pretty crazy, isn't it?
It is 148 more than I expected.
Well, at least you've gone up. Before you only had me at 1. Now you've got me to 2.
I think 2. Yeah.
Wow, I'm definitely moving up the totem pole right there. I went from just having my nose above ground level, like, underneath the totem pole, to like where my nose is clearly above and I can breathe now. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. What's up? Shout out to the patrons of the NNRC. If you guys listened to last week's podcast, it was pretty good. It was a great rant. Also a great chat with Powell from Poland. We got into talking about how we think that racers can do focus training to get better. Check it out, episode 139. It's pretty good. We tried to get this guy right here, me and Max, but Max didn't follow the game plan. I think I should have let him pled insanity and euphoria. But anyway, congratulations to Max anyway. He's moving on to Eastern Finland now to go school, right?
Oh, he is?
Yeah, that's why I couldn't. I asked him, I was going to record with him this week. And then he's like, I just moved. I'm done in school. Like, I didn't bring any of my stuff. I'll have it next week, but I'm going to be busy the next 2 weeks. So I'm like, yeah, you're going to forget all about RT, dude. Like, you're going to be in college, university. Is like Finnish university like that? Like, fun?
I don't know. I just went there to the lectures and then pissed off.
Yeah, well, definitely asking the wrong person. Like, yeah, the whole university experience, you didn't even worry about it. You just went to the lectures and went. No. Yeah, too much. No time to enjoy myself.
I did enjoy myself.
All right. You know what? We're going to talk about you and your accident in a second. Let me do my spiel here, please. I got to say thank you to everybody.
My biggest accident was agreeing to do this today.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, you know what? Shout out to the patrons of the NNRC. We got 2 new patrons this week. Thank you to those guys. I will add you guys to the list as well. I greatly appreciate it. The extra help helps up this podcast, helps keep these bills paid. Let me mute this guy. Shout out to all of the awesome sponsors of the podcast. You guys are showing these guys some love. They are supporting the podcast. We can't do it without you guys. So we have Mayako. We're going to talk about that in a minute. We got JQ right there. Beach RC. I would be nowhere without Beach RC. They have been our biggest supporter from the inception of this podcast. So shout out to Brent and Lucas and all those guys there. Thank you. High Tech RC. High Tech sent me a charger. I will have it tomorrow. Hopefully, it has to come from Miami here. So it takes a little bit of time and whatever. So I'll have it tomorrow. And then hopefully I'll be testing it out next week. But shout out to High Tech RCD for their support. TNR Fuels, thank you to Chris Nelson and his family for their support. That fuel is like the hottest fuel in the USA, and I think they're getting ready to ship it internationally. Techno Rc, another longtime sponsor of the podcast. It's going to be interesting to see what happens at Techno at the end of the year here with their drivers and their team, but they have been really busy. They've had a really decent year. They haven't gotten the win that they wanted, the big win, but such a great team. They're doing a good job, and they got some good products, so check them out. City Rc Raceway, they had the USRC race. Rob Isaac and Ryan Lutz flew out there this weekend, and they did it real fast, like out of the blue. So they had that this past weekend in El Paso. I don't really know too much about it. I haven't talked to anybody about it, so I'll find out a little bit more. If you ever in the El Paso area, go check out the Showers family, and thank you for your support, Joey, Christian, and Corbin. Lugs Racing Tires. They were up at the NCT a couple of weeks ago. They have their long wear tires in stock. You want to get those while they're hot and use that NNRC Lugs in all caps coupon code to save some money. Thank you, Lugs. JQ Racing, shout out to all my JQ Racing family. We don't die, we multiply. We'll be back, don't worry. Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, another longtime sponsor of the podcast. He just released some pretty cool bearing elixir that I'm going to get and try out as well. And he's got a whole bunch of traction compound for all your traction needs. So go check them out. We have some coupon codes for that as well. Donathan RC, I finally received my leads. I'm using them. They're so awesome. Here's one. Here's the magnetic phone charger cable. So that comes off, and that can stay in your cable, in your phone, and you just hook it up. It's so cool. I've been testing out the new leads. So I'm geeking out over this. He made some special leads with this EC8 plugs for my power that I need for Operation 115. And I'm not going to release that yet. But thank you to Donathan RC. We have a coupon code for that, so go check them out. The link for all these sponsors and all the coupon codes are in the Linktree link that is in the written description of this podcast. Shout out to RCGP, Racecraft USA, and of course, House of RC. They released their 1.3 version this week. Today, actually. So I shared it, and check it out. If you haven't made a profile, go there and make a profile. And yeah. Joseph, real quick, before we go on any further, I want to talk. I am doing another food challenge here.
But what is it this time?
I am going to eat hey, turn your mic down, it's a little bit hot. I am going to eat the world's hottest, not hottest, sorry, I'm not doing hot again. That messed me up. I actually think that's what caused my pressure to go up so high. I am doing the world's sourest candy challenge.
Don't those all suck? Like they aren't actually that sour.
I will find out here very shortly. I just cannot do the toe of Satan again. That was just really bad. I just cannot do. I actually stopped eating all cinnamon products since then. Like I don't even have cinnamon. I used to put cinnamon in my coffee. I don't do it anymore because it just I can't take the taste in because it's a cinnamon taste. But anyway, I'm doing this food challenge to raise money for the Blooming Prairie RC2 Paint the Track Pink race that they're having on September 11th. This is all proceeds go to the Cancer Association to fight cancer. They do have a GoFundMe. The link will be in the written description of this podcast. I guess we're going to do a live next week. Probably me and my buddy Kevin. And maybe no, it'd be too late for you. We will... We're going to do that. We're going to do the challenge, and we're going to raise some money. It's for a good cause. And, dude, I saw this guy who did this challenge. His tongue started bleeding. So I don't know what's going to happen to her. Like, I got to take it easy. Like, I'm getting too old for this type of stuff, and I'm definitely not in the shape to do it. So I'm definitely going to take it easy.
Why are you doing it?
To raise money for cancer.
So you can get cancer?
No, I don't get cancer. No.
Are you raising money so that you can get cancer or what?
No, I'm raising money to give to a cancer association. I don't know it's a fundraiser. So basically what they're going to do is paint a part of their track pink for for cancer. Whatever, I guess pink is the color for cancer. Yeah, of course it is.
Breast cancer.
Is it for breast cancer? Okay. So
save the boobs.
Yeah, Blooming Prairie, the Joe Bain and his brother I think they were driving JQ cars. I think they still are nice guys. They have gone full into RC. Like this is a group of people, right, Joseph, that didn't race, then they got cars, and now they have a track, like, and have had it for a year and a half, and they're just loving RC. Joe Zaire Jr. of Ran Out of Talent, he goes to their track a lot, and they sponsor his podcast, so he's always there, and it's pretty cool to see that, like, people that went from not knowing anything about RC, I believe, to like full into it, to having a track. It's kind of like we're going to segue. This is a good segue. It's kind of like your new online course, right?
Yeah.
Invisible Speed Online. Do you want to talk about how you almost killed yourself today before we talk about that?
I wouldn't go that far, but I almost killed my ankle or knee.
That's why you gotta leave that motocross bike alone, man. You gotta sell it.
This is the first injury I've had in a long time.
So what happened?
So, well, track was really good. They rebuilt it, brought in some new material. All the jump faces were nice. So I'm like, oh, this could be a good time to practice the jumps. Okay. I did successfully. I didn't crash on a jump, but this one jump leads into a right-hand corner, and I kept going wide because it's like soon after the jump, you have the corner. So I one lap I was thinking, I'm going to try and break for the corner and actually do the inside line. Mm-hmm. And when I did that, I just folded the front end and crashed. But my right foot hit the ground and turned backwards, because the toes kind of caught the ground. Mm-hmm. And then the bike fell on it, but luckily it kind of bounced up and then turned the right way, because my body couldn't turn with the foot because I was caught by the handlebars. So I was just like, right at that moment, I'm like, fuck, I did my ankle, like it's broken. Like, because right at that moment, you don't feel anything, you just know it's happening. But I just knew, like, my ankle was fucking backwards just now. And now I can't move it at all. Like, nothing moves. And then, so I was there for a bit, just really mad. I'm like, damn it, this wasn't good timing. Well, it never is. But then I noticed I can sort of move it. And I also sort of fell on my handlebar. So I have the worst dead leg I've ever had. And then, a few minutes. And I was like, well, it didn't break. I got lucky. So I did still do a lap actually afterwards, because you can't like stop riding with a crash. So I did do another lap and then I left, but I went to the RC track after. I had to drive an hour. And then when I got to the RC track, I could barely walk. I'm like,
he's walking pretty good just now.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, but, you just leave that bike alone, man. You can't afford, like, imagine if you broke your hands, like, you'd be so screwed. Like, come on.
Yeah, think. I'm gonna break my hands.
You have done it before.
Yeah, I have.
So yeah. And you're like almost 40 now, dude. That stuff gets harder.
I'm 38.
You're almost 40, and that stuff becomes harder and harder to get over. Like, you know what I mean? So just chill, like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's fun I like that you deck out. I just don't want you to get hurt. Like, you know what I mean? Well, a little bit hurt, but not like break your shit up. Like, I want to.
Luckily, nothing worse.
Yeah. Nothing. Me. I'm in a boat where I got this brand new prop, all this prop that I was all worried about going running, and dude, I didn't tighten it up enough, and I went out there and it was like, and I was like, no, that's literally what I done. I went, came back in, and then I was like,
how did you come back in?
Well, I was coming back into shore, so it was like, it was coming. I went out, came back, and then as soon as the last little bit of throttle I gave it, like, which was close, it just went zzz, and I was like, oh. And then what it was, I was turning, so the prop actually still stabilizes the boat too. So when I was turning, the prop left, the boat just like did a donut, like, you know what I mean? Actually came out of the water, and I just like, yeah, that's boats. $50 going down the drain in 1 minute, in less than a minute. You know what I mean? So we went to go get masks, and my buddy came out there, and his buddy and my son was with us, but it was the water was no visibility, and just couldn't see anything. The tide was coming in, so We just ended up swimming, and I ran like the boat. I put another prop on, I ran the boat, and it was probably one of the best days of RC I've had in so long. Like to actually doing RC, like doing it, then like letting the batteries cool down, then go for a swim with my son, talk to my boy, and then go put another battery pack in, go drive, have fun, go home. I was only gonna go out there for an hour. We ended up being out there to about 1:30 in the afternoon. So good times. I want to say, like, I know people's like, oh, Keenan, Lefty, what are you talking about this boat and all this type of stuff. I want to say this. The boat, I've done them before. I have no one to race her. We have no track, no nothing like that. I need to get I've told you before, like, this is part of getting my passion back to actually do RC again. As much as I love RC, I don't do it. But I have no one to race with the boat, but I can have fun, and I'm chasing a record. I'll talk more about that when I'm ready. But I'm chasing a record, and I have to. I don't to do that. I don't need to race anybody else. I can go out there by myself. I can do testing. I can do this, and I can have fun. And I'll tell you what, it's like rediscovering RC again because I'm literally now when I drive, I'm looking, and I'm like, oh, look at that river. That water looks great. Like, you know what I mean? And now I'm going taking drives out to where I'm gonna do this record, and I'm observing like how the tides are and how the wind is and all that stuff. And it's the best time to go out there when nobody's there, stuff like that. So it's just like when somebody discovers RC again and they discover racing and they're like, oh man, look at that place, that would make a good track, or look at that dirt over there, that would make great RC dirt, or what, a track dirt. It's weird. It's a good feeling. It's giving me that warm fuzzy feeling all over again. But yeah, $50 down the drain though. When you in a boat, it goes like just kiss it goodbye. Like then that stuff goes, she goes. So good stuff. JQ, let's talk about your Invisible Speed online course because you unveiled the four or five top guys that are gonna walk through this. So let's talk about that real quick. And turn your mic down a bit. Turn it down a bit. It's a little hot. I'm getting that noise in the back. Or maybe that's your loud laptop. There we go.
Yes, Invisible Speed. So the idea is that there are two different courses. Basic course, which is same price as the book. That's good for anyone really in RC, but mainly for complete beginners to sort of relatively new people to the hobby. And then the full course can be good for anyone, even world champion level drivers. They will find some good information in there. And to make it even better, I decided that we need some different perspectives also. So some other top drivers. So we got Ronne Falk, Robert Battier, Battle. What does Scotty say?
Battle.
I can't remember. He had something else.
I like how he says Tasman.
Robert Battle, and then we have Kyle McBride and Cole Ogden. So
nice. I forgot about Kyle. I forgot he was in.
Yeah, even though he's techno, so still.
You say that so like that's like the best I've ever heard you talk about techno. I think, like that's the way you said it. Like you just gotta accept that they're awesome, and you just can't say anything bad about them.
Kyle's a good guy. That's all I'm gonna say. So those four are gonna be involved in a month-long run-through of the course. So the people who buy the course before 20th of September, they get access to all the videos in the course. I don't know how many yet, but like over 10 hours of content, 60 videos or so at least, right? So it's a lot of information. There's 12 modules, right, in the course, and one module is everything that's in the Invisible Speed book. So that gives you an idea, right?
That's big.
So, well, it's the biggest module, but anyway, so that's just one part of it. There's many other parts to it too. And the idea is that for these people who pre-order, we aren't just going to give them a course and that's it. We'll then have a guided follow through. So 1 week will be just me first. So sort of find out what level drivers they are and what they really want to learn about this kind of stuff, go over the basics, and then we'll involve those four drivers that I mentioned. And we'll be doing some live videos, some pre-recorded stuff, and some live Q&As. And also they'll be available throughout that month on Discord.
Nice.
So there's a Discord server where it's open for everyone who buys the full course, but there'll be a section, like a private run-through section for the people who pre-order. And that's where these guys will be, and where we can answer questions and go through the course sort of step by step. So this should ensure that in that month, these people will get the most out of all the information that's there.
That's cool.
So.
That's cool. So these guys, basically, they'll be able to just ask questions from Runabout McBride in the Discord. They'll get personalized lives with them too.
Yeah, so we'll do sort of scheduled live video shows that people can join, and then they can ask questions live there. And then they can just write in the chat anytime, and then when they read them, they'll reply.
And that's all through Discord, right?
Yeah.
I need to get one set up.
Yeah, it's really good for something like this. Like if you have a community and you need to share information, then it's really good for something like that. And another thing is that we start off with 8-scale off-road. Like the information in the course is general. It works for all the different classes, but it's focused on 8-scale off-road. So a lot of it is specific to 8-scale off-road, right? But there will then be a 10-scale off-road update where I'll work with 10-scale off-road drivers and do this same thing later on. And also on-road.
Okay.
So on-road electric and on-road nitro. So these updates will come in the future.
That's cool. So basically, you're gonna launch a separate online course for like 10-scale off-road, or it'll be still
it's the
just
same.
separate,
So
just separate drivers.
Yeah, different drivers and then more material. So
Gotcha.
we add to the course. So we have the course now, and then we add sort of 10-scale off-road specific videos and then on-road specific videos. So at the end of the day, the course is going to be massive. So you don't necessarily even want to watch everything, because you get everything and then you choose like, oh, well, I'm not really interested in touring car, so I'm not going to watch those. But when you get the full course, you have access for 3 years. So maybe in the third year, you do want to run some touring car, and maybe then you go back and watch those. So that's why I thought it's best if it's just all in one place.
Oh, so you don't have to pay for that later too, right? You can that's all included in the course?
Yeah. So if you get the full course, you have all the material that's there and all the updates too for 3 years.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
Then I was going to do it first, sort of lifetime. But then I figured, okay, so lifetime, what if I don't want to do this anymore at some point? Then how do I sort of get out of that? So it's not like, what is lifetime? Till
you die.
I don't know. So so then I figured it's best to put some kind of time limit. And I figured 3 years is probably good. Like after 3 years, you've already forgot that you paid one time, right? And most people, maybe they don't
probably
need
out
it
of
anymore.
RC by
they're
then.
out of RC, whatever has happened, And then if you really like it, you really want to keep it. If the updates are good, well, then you get it again. And also, RC is quite small, so maybe I would reach a point at some point where there aren't really enough sales to justify spending any time working on it. Who knows? So I think that was the best way.
I think it's gonna spark. I congratulations, dude. Because when you sent me the promo, I was like, dude, who edited this? And he's like, I did. I was like, damn, you do. You're like, your skills are like, your editing skills are just, well, look, man, that's your superpower. Like, you know what I mean? You're able to focus on things like this. You're able to like, I can appreciate your autistic superpower now a little bit more, like your attention for detail and all that. And people,
when you have to learn, you learn. That's it.
Yeah, but I mean, you like people like, look, I'm not gonna fluff you anymore, but you just have a way of doing it, like, you know what I mean? And so I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to do the course myself hopefully next year when we do the
Yeah, but I have a feeling that people don't really get it. I think there hasn't really been something like this in RC, or maybe not enough of it that people see the value, because in other industries there are even like really expensive courses that cost like thousands of dollars and people
Yep.
flock to them, which I think that's too much. I mean, that's it.
Well,
That then we are getting into scam territory, in my opinion.
right.
But if you think about it, the price is something that people, it's 350 euros or $400 or something, like it's quite expensive. Yes, but it's also what you spend on one sort of big race weekend, for example, just an example. So it's not like out of this world kind of money. And you can pay in 4 months, 4 installments if you want. It's $100 a month. And you have it then for 3 years. But I think that even after that, people still, or far too many people, seem to think that, well, the videos are free on YouTube, so I'll just watch those. And that's fine. There are a lot of videos there already, and there will be more. But the difference with a course like this is that if you really want to learn, if you really want to improve, then you need to have all that information, sort of curated information, all the stuff you need to know to improve, and you need to get it in the right order so that you don't skip steps and you're like jumping around. It needs to be presented in a consistent manner from beginning to end, so you get the whole process and the big picture, and then you can apply that in your own racing. So how the course starts off is just introducing RC racing, all the different classes, why you should pick what you should buy, all this stuff, where to find information, all like really basic stuff. But then it goes to your first day at the track, learning to drive, the basic maintenance of your car, the first setup changes you do, first things you can adjust on your transmitter, going to your first race, how races are run, next step in practicing your driving, and next setup changes you would consider. And it sort of builds up. So it's not just all information about your radio in one go. It's like 3 or 4 different times, like through your learning process. Or it's not everything about driving in one go. It's broken up. So you learn a bit and a bit more and a bit more, you know? So that's why a course like this is more valuable than those YouTube videos if you really want to learn. And for the more experienced drivers, it's the same thing with the setup stuff. So if you watch a video about caster, that's fine. Maybe you learn something, but you won't be able to place caster in the grand scheme of things, like amongst all the other setup options. You won't have a clear picture of your car. You'll just know about that one thing. So instead of having all separate things about the car, the goal of the course is to teach you in a step-by-step way all about the car so that you understand it. That can't really be done by watching random videos on YouTube. You have to have the whole thing, like all the information. Does that make sense?
No, I understand. It's more in depth. Like I know, like I've never done them. Like obviously, I get hit up to join to do podcasts when I first started. Obviously, podcast courses, you know, that you pay for.
Yeah.
I never done them. I know. I couldn't afford them. That's why I didn't do them. But my buddy was doing one for lionfish hunting, culling. And so it's not unusual. It's just that RC has never seen anything like this. So it's kind of just catching up with the times, and everybody, you know, just like they hadn't seen a proper book written about setup. So I think it's gonna the price, obviously, like people, $400, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like people like me can't afford to do it, but there are people out there
you can pay $100 a month.
All right, yeah. So it's installments, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not too bad, man. That's not too bad at all. I think the added value of the drivers makes it even better. So I think if you want to get like one-on-one with Cole Ogden, David Ronnefeld, the Thunder from Down Under, Kyle McBride, and the Spaniard Rabbit. I almost called him Rabbit. Robert Battier. Pre-order this, and you get to chat with them and hang out with them for a month, and maybe you make some friendships. Like, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's how it goes. These guys are humans just like us, you know. So you never know how things work. You know what, Jason? Like and then let's not even. You also have a car that's releasing this month because it's now September 1st when we're recording this. So while you're doing all this online course, you still got this to deal with. That's pretty impressive, dude. I know I tease you a lot.
It's been rough.
Yeah, I can see it in your face, in your beard, and your hair.
24th, I'm hopefully driving to the south of Europe. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna do Buggyland and Reds GP and a race in France. So by then, everything should be done. Like all the car stuff done, car out, course done, course released. Then there'll be a few weeks before we then start the run through, you know, so people have time to go through it on their own, and then we go through it together. So yeah, it's been like my routine has been pretty insane this maybe month, maybe about a month, and now this coming 3 weeks still. So I tend to go to bed like 4 or 5 a.m. and then I get up like 9, 10 a.m. and then I just basically work like all that time. Or like today, I went to ride motocross first, then I went to the track testing, then I came back editing video and do this podcast and continue editing. I have to do at least one video, like finish one video a day.
Right.
But
and
really,
right now,
I should finish like 2 videos a day.
It's 5 p.m. her EST. Who's this? My buddy. Wait. My buddy is her. As I said, it's impromptu podcast. My buddy just walked in with his son. So it's late there. And what's up, Joba?
Yeah, it's midnight now.
Yeah. So
I have a few hours.
I don't know how you do it, man. But anyway, that's just you. You don't have a family either, or any life outside of that. So I guess, no offense, I mean that in like the most non-offensive. Yeah, I know. But that's how you get things done, you know. So that's why you get things done. So, Joseph, Wicked. We're gonna get off that for a second. If you guys want to check it out, invisibleseed.com, right? .net. Sorry, check it out. If you think it's something for you, do it. I mean, they have installment payments as well. Joseph, Wicked Weekend. No, not Wicked Weekend. Sorry, AMS, because it was going to be Wicked Weekend at first, but they changed it to AMS. Look at his son back there in the video. I kind of knew a little bit, but you didn't tell me to what extent you was working with these guys to change everything. How did that come about? I mean, the change, you got them to change. Well, I don't know if you got them, but they made the decision to change the way they do things, their format, and cap that race. You know, we've been talking about cap races and format changes for a long time. What's that noise, dude?
I wouldn't really say, I wouldn't really say working with that much, but definitely in contact with, let's put it that way.
Right. Okay, sorry.
So I've been pitching and lobbying for new format and schedule and all this stuff for, I think at this point, years. 1 year isn't even enough anymore. I think years. And I'm at the point where I have made a spreadsheet with full schedule for club racing, for a big race. All you need to do is put in how much time you want for everything, like how much time for watering or how long the heats are, and it just updates automatically. So you can have a schedule. Very low work for you. You can have a schedule, right? And I come up with a format. I wrote the rules, explanation of the format. I got Live RC to create it. I don't know if they have it yet as a sort of ready to go, just one click thing, but I know they have all the features for it. You can run that format. And also Everlap's the same. Mm-hmm. And my RCM, I never really managed to even get in touch with those guys. So they probably don't have it yet. So I just thought, like, you know what? Nothing's ever going to change. So just lobby the shit out of all the soft timing software companies to get them to make the changes, right? So they exist. Then go to all the race promoters and organizers and push the idea of the format. And then also speak publicly about it so that people know about it and want it, right? So yeah, so now finally at least one race is doing a lot of what I suggested and recommended. So let's see how it goes. Hopefully they do a good job and people enjoy it. I mean, there are some things that I didn't agree with, like they actually have a schedule now. So I think people will know when they're up, but I think it's too tight. Like they have too many entries and too many classes. So they squeezed everything in too much. So I think they'll be running delayed, but still, you know, it's better than nothing. And they can prove me wrong. Maybe they stay on schedule. And there was something else. Yeah, that too many entries thing and too many classes.
Well, that's just, I mean, I'm going to give Dave his props. We complained about his trophies. He changed his trophies. We complained about coverage. He got Live RC came there. He's going to have Live RC there this time too. Working harder. So at least he's trying to do things differently, which I applaud him. And
yeah, I don't know. I think this might be the first race that all those guys will go to where, well, this is the thing actually. So you can have that format, but you need to have staff to ensure that it works, right? Because if you don't count the whole 5 minutes, then one track cut will matter a lot more. And we know in America, people got the track all the time.
Just in RC period. It's not just America.
Yeah, well, a lot more in America than in
because there's no referees
all
to
the
call
countries I've raced in. Because they tend to just flip over a pipe and just continue like, what the hell's happening? Like, it's just blatant, you know? So that can easily be an issue. And just in general, sort of because it's supposed to be structured and we need to keep a move on, get the marshals out there, all this stuff. I'm curious to see how that side of it goes, you know, because it's supposed to be like fair, like everyone has the same practice. Then there's seeding, then there's qualifying, but qualifying is 3 best laps in a row. And then there's a qualifying race. Okay, he insists on calling it Super Bowl, which is something different altogether, but it's actually a race. So they reseed for the last qualifying round, and it's a race against other drivers for position. So the group, whoever wins that is TQ. Second fastest group, whoever wins that makes the main directly, right? So those top 2 races are really exciting, you know, because the guys are racing for TQ and the guys are racing for the last spot in the main. And then there's the 3rd and 4th group, or however many there are in that class, right? And then after that, then the cars are put into their normal bump up mains. So people get to race more. And also mains are long. Even the lower mains were long. I can't remember. I think even made
30 minutes. 30 minutes for lower mains, 45 minutes for all nitro mains, all nitro A mains, 30 minutes for all lower mains, double 10-minute e-buggy, electric mains, lower mains, and triple A mains. So
so the idea is that people get to race more, right? So this will, not only is there one more time that you race on the track, the mains are also longer, you know, because many of these races you have to get there like 6:30 a.m. and you have a 6-minute main or something. That's ridiculous. It's fucking stupid, seriously, with a nitro car. So the fact that everyone gets to run that 30-minute bump up main, that's really good, I think.
This is the first time I've seen double lower mains for all electric classes. And that's good for, if you're an e-buggy guy, this is the race you want to go to and run e-truggy and e-buggy, because you're going to get so much runtime.
Yeah, also, even you complained about the practice thing, but here's my thing. Like, we don't pay money and go somewhere to practice. We just don't. Like, if you go to a race and you think that the value is the fact that you can stand in line and then go practice on a track with 85 cars on it and some rookie in a e-truggy running backwards, if you think that that's the value at the race, then you have it all wrong. You have it as backwards as that guy in that e-truggy, right? That is not the point of paying money to go to a race. You pay money to go to a race to race other cars in a sort of structured format on the track and to hopefully win. Or if you're not into winning, just racing other cars and having fun, socializing in the pits, like it's not about practice. That's what I don't understand. Like practice, 3
Hey
rounds
man,
controlled, 1 round
I
of
get it.
seeding,
I
4
understand
times
that.
on for each
I
car.
totally, I totally
Everyone has the
understand that.
same. That's the
I
best way to do
agree.
it. You don't have to
I
stand in line. You can just be like, oh, I'm up at noon. Okay, so I have 2 hours. So I
This is what I
can go
told my
somewhere, get
buddy.
some food. I can chill. I can help my friend. Whatever.
This is what I told my mate. I said, run. If he's like, well, I said, dude, you can run one class at this race and be fine. I said,
Exactly.
if you run 2 classes, I guarantee you by Saturday or Sunday afternoon, you'll be like, I'm been on the track too much.
Honestly, I think this race, you should sort of look at the schedule, think about it, and pick 2 classes and run that.
Yeah.
Maximum.
I would actually like to go to this, but I doubt that's gonna happen. But it'd be interesting, and hopefully he gets a good turnout of the pros as well, because this is like the last big race. So hopefully they go, and we got a good show because he says Live RC is gonna be there, and
Yeah.
I give Dave his props, kudos. Now we just need to focus on like promoting it to people and yeah, that's a whole. I know you don't agree with me on that, but
I hope this works out and more races do this, and then he can have his Psycho Nitro Blast. That's ridiculous, right?
right.
And that would actually make that race more special because it's the only one that's a shit show like that. So if you like that, then that's your race.
Well,
right?
he has 3
But it's
races.
the only one.
Right,
And
but he
then,
has
do the others properly.
no, but look, he has what's that race called? SIC, PNB, Wicked Weekend. They're all open. Like there's as many entries as you can. Southern Nets has to be capped because that's how he got the race. And now he's gonna make another cap race. So he has 3 open races and 2 cap races. I think that's fair.
He should have 4 and 1.
Well, come on, man. Baby steps. At least, come on.
It's
I
a
know.
good start.
Take it easy.
Now we need Joey and what's his face, Jimmy to do something also.
Okay. Real quick, Joseph, I wanted to touch on something that I saw last week, and I thought this was really cool. Here, when we think Serpent is kind of out of the mix, your mic you're too close to the mic, Joseph, or you got my volume up too high.
Just auto adjusts.
Serpent, now they've released a ready to race e-buggy. Joseph, I know you don't like e-buggy, but I just want to touch on this because me and Zach from Australia were talking about this and how I think it's such a good idea because it's actually it's like an actual race buggy, I believe. Maybe it's got some cheaper components on it, but it looks great and it's just ready to race. It's not a ready to run, and it's got decent electronics in it and all that type of stuff. If I was a manufacturer, this is stuff I would be making right now too, because this is the class I think that we're gonna get new people into RC, into doing what we want to do. You know what I mean? So if you can, like, man, I know you gotta, Mayaka and them guys gotta make a Mayaka e-buggy, but if you could do something like this too, not a ready to run, but a little bit more expensive, but ready to race, like where someone could just take that, put batteries in it, and go. I think S-Works has an e-buggy like that too, so I'm told. So I think this is a good way. If the price point is right, I think it's like this. I don't have the price here. Let me see. I just think it's a good way to get new people into RC racing because it's ready to race. $505, dude. $505 for this. That's crazy.
With the radio and stuff, or
it comes with
a speedo and motor.
No, it has a 2.4 gigahertz transmitter, waterproof electronic speed controller with a small footprint which fits inside the e-buggy holder like a glove, combined with a strong 1900 kV brushless motor. They got like all aluminum shocks, like it looks just like what a Serpent would look like. Like, you know what I mean? They got the two, the Serpent uses the two battery packs on each side. It looks like a great combination, but this is what we need to go further. This is something you could say, hey, for $500, you can get into RC cars and not have a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like a capable car. It looks like S-Works has one and Serpent has one. I implore Mayako to make one. Good stuff.
Ready to race or something?
Yeah, ready to race. Just better components. See, look at that. Shoots it down already. Shoots it down
Mayako isn't the right brand for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know you guys ain't making no RTRs. You know you ain't making no RTRs, but I bet you're going to see this take off. But I think it's a good idea.
I hope so, but Mayako isn't a brand like that because it's not sold through normal sort of retail.
That's true.
So it doesn't really have a really strong sales network, dealer network, and those kind of things that's where you would sell those.
But what do you think about the idea? Do you think it's a good idea?
It's not all new. It's been around forever.
Yeah, but it's a little different.
If the car is good enough, then it's good. But most of the time, the problem is that the cars aren't good enough for racing. So it's like if someone gets that and actually wants to get into racing, then they have to then sell that and get an actual car for racing. That's the problem. Like you buy a ready to run as your first car, you learn to get around the track, and then you can't really race it because it's not good enough.
But it's not a ready to run.
That's the problem.
It's a ready to race. So it's better components.
Yeah, they probably just called it ready to race.
Well, let's see.
Hopefully you're right, and it actually is a better one, and it's good enough to race. But I doubt it somehow.
So, it's so negative. All right. We said we're gonna do an hour, so we got about 15 minutes left here. Joseph, like I said, no ads in this podcast, no nothing, just straight talk. We had the 10 scale nationals this weekend. I know you did not watch it at all. I watched the finals today. Congratulations to Dakota Fenn. Literally walked away with 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. Like, dude, nobody could touch him. It was like, who's gonna finish second and third for both his races? It was pretty impressive for him. He did not fend himself at all. He just walked away with 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. Truck now was a different story. Tollard, man, Cole Tollard won that, and he won the first 2 mains, but he had a fight for it. And then Fenn fended himself a few times in that race. He finished second. But wow, dude, it's super crazy to see this. Okay, let's talk about this. I know you didn't see the track. They had this track here. They had the 2017 Nationals at this track. It's called The Track. It's in Gaithersburg, Virginia, just outside of Washington, D.C. It's a very small track. Have you seen this track before, Joseph?
Just some video from this Nationals.
All right, so I think in 2017, like I said, in 2017 they held it. I don't know who won it there, but I know a lot of people were kind of complaining about the track. It was a little smaller, too small. They made it bigger, but it's still kind of one of those smaller tracks. It's not as big as OCRC. It's just one of those smaller tracks. And I think this is probably one of the reasons why the entry count was so light. You only had 91 drivers there and only 195 entries. So, like, I guess Nitro is paying all of Raw's bills this year because Nitro had the biggest turnouts this year. So that's truly the glory. But kind of shocking to see this. Like, no Dustin Evans there. He didn't go because he didn't go because his girlfriend or wife is expecting like anytime soon. So he couldn't go. It's tell me it is not weird to not see Tiba's name in like a top 10 of a 10 scale finish, like a Nationals. But like,
is he not racing 10 scale anymore?
No, he is not racing 10 scale. Nobody from Techno was at this race. There was no Tyler Jones, no Seth Van Dalen, nobody.
Why is that?
Nobody went. I think Tebow's done with 10 scale probably, and I think Techno's just focusing on 8 scale. But Jones does run Schumacher 2-wheel drive, but I guess he couldn't get travel money to go to this race. But yeah, it's shocking to see like no Tebow. It's weird. It's just weird. Like after all these years, always seeing him in 10 scale, and now you don't see him. I guess it takes too much. Do you think it's just more work to stay fast in 10 scale than it is 8 scale?
I don't know more work, but I think you need to sort of pick one. at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, and also like AKA's tire game isn't the best for indoor, like clay racing too. So maybe, and I get it, man. Man's got 3 kids. He wants to chill out and spend some time.
Are you
with his
sure?
family
I
and do
thought
something.
those scribbles were good.
Yeah, but I mean, getting them. But he hasn't done any 10 scale in the like for a while. He did 10 scale when he first joined Techno, but he hasn't done none for a while. So he would have to practice, and maybe just like, what's his sense of going if you can't get travel budget to go there and all that type of stuff. So that was shocking, but not as shocking as seeing Mayfield in the B main at this race, and Tessman in the B main of 4-wheel drive, and Mayfield in the
B-main.
B main of 2-wheel drive.
What
Wow,
happened?
that nothing. He just like wasn't fast. Like
He didn't break or something?
Not in 2-wheel drive, if I'm not mistaken. Let me bring it up here if I can check it out. Let's see. In 2-wheel drive, what is this? 2-wheel drive. Where's Mayfield was in? Hold on. He was way down the line. Hold on, where is he? He was 17th, dude. He had a 21, a 21, a 15, and a 14. So he was just off pace all week. All weekend. No, sorry, he had a 4. Sorry, he had a 4, a 19, a 35, and a 35. Wow.
Okay.
So he did get 4th the first round, but it just went downhill after that. And he finished all his races, so I guess he was just off pace. But he's been struggling with this 2-wheel drive. He was in the B main at that exact 10K race with Wally, and he had a bump out of he bumped out of there to the A main. So
Is it a new one or what?
I don't know. Like, is he just like, I'm just gonna ride out Yokomo to the end of the year and ride out my contract type of vibe, like zero fucks given about it, right at this point? I mean, he
don't
did
know.
finish.
I don't even know what's going on with Yokomo. They're
I
still
don't
in it
either.
or what?
Nobody seems to know like what's going on. Nobody has any answers. But you know what? In the 2-wheel drive, this is an interesting fact too, Joseph. In the 2-wheel drive main, there was only one 30+ racer, and that was Cavallari.
Yeah.
Tessman was the second oldest. This is probably what, 27. So you had Cole Tollard, Rivkin, Aiden Horn, this guy Charlie Majorana. Never
Wait,
heard of him before.
Did you say Rivkin is 27?
No, I said Tessman is like 27.
Oh,
28.
Tessman.
Rivkin
Yeah,
is
he
only like
probably
22.
is, yeah. I thought
Aiden,
Rivkin was young.
yeah, 7th, Charlie Majorana.
Yeah, who the hell is that? I saw that name.
He's from the Midwest, I'm told. He's pretty good out there. And he went to the Nationals and he did good. He made a name for himself. He beat Renner Connect, Lee Setzer, and Drayton Stop. We see a lot of young guys here, man. A lot of younger racers moving up into this class. Are we starting to see the change of the guard here a little bit, Joseph? Even though Fenn's still part of the old guys, still young. Like, you know, Cole Tollard's a young driver. Aiden Horn's young. I don't know how old Charlie is. Renner Connect's young. Lee, Staub, all these guys. I think Lee's 21. Jayton's 19. What this man is full of young drivers, dude. Okay, let's throw.
I think in electric it's happening now.
Yeah.
So that change of the guard in electric, it's like
I
we
would say
mentioned on some podcast a while ago that in America now the 10 scale.
Yeah.
10 scale class is changing. New names finally.
Yeah, that would be where Drayton comes from. Renner Connect. I guess this guy Majorana, Aiden Horn, Tollard, all Midwest guys. Midwest is the Italy of America for RC. Now, but Tollard, now the 2 guys that are carrying this over to 8 scale are Tollard, Aiden Horn, and I would say Lee to a bit. And Renner Connect's getting there, but he's a little off those guys. But Tollard and Horn are really taking it out of these 10 scale guys.
Yeah.
Interesting. Tollard's had a really good year this year. And Aiden Horn and Tollard have really good years. Have had really good 2021s this year so far, I would have to say. All right. Why do you think Mayfield's not an A in this? Don't you think that's got to be a blow to the ego, or do you think he's just like, I don't care? Let me.
I mean, he probably doesn't mind. He's had a really good going in 8 scale,
Yes.
and probably, well, I don't know. I have no idea, but maybe he has been sort of focusing a bit more on that, for if he goes to practice, he runs the 8 scale. Maybe that's been a thing. He has a second child, doesn't he? So
Yep.
probably some of his focus has gone there.
Do you think we're
Yeah,
going
I
to start
think
seeing these guys wind on their 10 scale program, sir, and focus on 8 scale more? Like, when I mean guys, I mean like
Some of them, I think,
Mayfield,
because
Cavallari.
I think so. If they enjoy the 8 scale stuff more, I think they will come to a point where, like, especially let's say that maybe that 10 scale cars aren't that good for them, or the setup, they would have to sort of work on it a bit more, figure it out. But then they also have a lot of 8 scale races. If they enjoy the 8 scale more, then maybe they will pick that, like maybe Tebow has done. So Tebow wasn't there, so maybe he's made that choice himself, or maybe Techno made it for him. I don't know, but he won the Reedy race, right? He's won world championships in 10 scale, so he's now, and obviously nationals.
Yeah.
So I think Tebow's won everything he wanted to in 10 scale.
I think Mayfield has too.
Yeah, Mayfield has 2 basically.
Yeah.
So maybe they just go, you know what? Just gonna focus on 8 scale if that situation comes about. Now Mayfield, obviously a big paycheck comes from Yokomo, so he's doing both. But for Tebow, maybe that's an option. Maybe he can just do 8 scale.
Yeah.
Because
I don't
I
see
think
that option for Cav though.
No. The thing is that now I would say that the level of racing is higher now than it was before. And it's natural. It happens in everything, really. So that just the level gets raised higher and higher. And RC is far from being sort of very professional, but it's more professional now than before. You need to prepare. You need to have everything working well for you to be able to win. And I think that these guys don't have the time / dedication, motivation. I shouldn't say dedication. I should say the time and motivation to choose to make sure every last box is checked.
Yeah.
Do you see what
agree.
I mean? And then those young guys, they have that hunger, and they do that, and they are at the track all the time, and they do run a lot, and maybe they are focusing on 10 scale. So then they are faster in 10 scale, right? So there's that. And then in 8 scale also, I think that whole program, how you know what changes to make for the long main itself, where you have more time to, even if you make a few bad laps or even a crash, you can still, get in a groove and win. It's just different kind of racing. So I think for 8 scale, experience is more important. And making sure everything is running right, everything's good for you. You have the experience, you're patient, and you get in your groove, and you're good. So I think they are a bit different.
Mains. I think they just realize that nitro is the glory, and they don't feel like sanding down tires to have ghost treads and doing all that crap. Even though they probably don't do none of that stuff, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know it sucks, but you have
I don't know where 10 scales going, man. Kind of like I'm not gonna sit there and act like I know what's going on with 10 scale, but I know I just kind of like. All right, I'm gonna go on a
10 scale. Wait, before you go, 10 scale is the most fun, in my opinion, on an outdoor dirt track. Not sort of super dusty and loamy, no. Just a sort of normal dirt track, like the Vasa World Championships. You can look that up on YouTube. And Cavallari did the double, I think. That kind of stuff, like outdoor 10 scale size dirt track. So it's 10 scale only. And it's dirt.
I like it on carpet, though. I like EOS races.
For me.
I like EOS races.
I hate that.
I just know that's where we're gonna go. Like, but what I do hate is like going to the same track in 5 years And that's why I think this has such a low turnout. And there's no disrespect to the track, but it's just I think just raw people, just tracks just don't want to do raw races no more. That's a shame. That's really a shame. And raw can't put on a proper race without a proper track, and the proper people behind it. And I kind of, you kind of saw a little bit of that this week, first when they released a sketch of, here's your, come on, let's think about things. Don't release a sketch that looks like my daughter, Lucifina, drew of a track and turn marshal. Let's be a little bit professional. You get flame, like right now, you're going to get flame for everything. You get flame. People don't even have to look for nothing. You give it to people. And then, that thing that I showed you where they had the, I know I'm being nitpicky, but I just kind of caught onto it and I was like, that's tacky. Where they had the raw speed, on a, piece of paper taped on a, a shelving angle bracket right during the cam. I'm like, come on, man, we got to be better than that. Joseph, you would not accept it. Excuse me? Probably Live RC probably did that. Well, Live RC only sent one cameraman, two, because Scotty had his big race on, his no prep race. So he had Live RC up there and Charlie Swanka and $42,000 on the line. So that's where all of Live RC's resources went for the race. So that's kind of I don't like her in the race announcer too much. I like her and what Scotty and the guys had to say in the race. But I mean, you only needed one camera at this race anyway. So it's such a small track. The coverage actually wasn't bad. Let's put it that way. I watched it this morning and the coverage wasn't bad. You just heard the race announcer. And you know who these drivers are anyway. But it's just unfortunate. This is the 10 scale nationals. This used to be the second biggest race or the biggest race of the year when it came to 10 scale. And look, it's just 91 drivers, 195 entries. It's come on, we gotta 10 scales bigger than that. I would love to see it go back. Like you said, let's go outside for one round. Let's do something different. Go to a different track, do outside, expose it, something. I don't know, man. Hey, only 6 short course trucks in the modified class.
Good.
Dude, Spencer Rivkin raced that. He was the only pro driver in that race. Why even race it? Can you brag about that trophy if you win that?
Look, there are some classes that should only be club racing classes. I
agree. Short course should be one of those.
Yeah, it's not a national event. It's just for entry-level drivers and for fun at the local club. It's not something like, let's see who can be the fastest with this short track.
Do you brag about
who's the national champion? It's stupid.
Hold on, but do you brag about that being a short course national champion?
I don't know. I would be embarrassed.
But here's the thing. I heard that more pro guys bought their short course cars, but Raw wouldn't let them run them because the rule says they can only run 3 classes. When you have a class that's only 6, I gotta tease them because we was teasing the on-road class when they had on-road paved outdoor paved 10 electric. They had classes with only 2 people. So here we have a class with only 6. I know there's many people that enjoy short course, and this is no disrespect for them, but I think it's time that this goes back to being a club level event, level class, and definitely a class for new people to get into. The industry, the manufacturers, Raw, everybody has wrung that horse dry. They have got all the money that they are going to get out of short course. There's no more money to make there, so it's gonna go back to.
They kind of ruined it too, though.
No, that's what I mean.
You need to keep as just that. This is fun. You don't need all these bling bling parts. You don't need these special tires. Mm-hmm. This is really easy. You buy the car, you go racing, have fun. That's it.
That's what I just said.
Keep it simple. Why can't they do that?
I agree.
Oh no, we have to make these special bodies,
high flow bodies that cost $100
tires and this and that, and then national championship.
It's happening in no prep too now.
Stupid.
It's happening in no prep. I saw an $880 conversion for a no prep car. It's crazy.
Well, I always told you that's not going anywhere.
Well, it's the money.
Get into that.
No, we're not getting into that debate again. Hey, Born a Crime done it for Mexico. He finally won the stock nationals.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
First Mexican stock champion.
Yes. Viva Mexico. I need a Mexican flag. Viva la República de Mexico. Woo. Congratulations to Matty Gonzalez. 1 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. And now he can finally move up to mod finally move up to mod
Exactly.
and finally run some nitro. All
This
right,
is a
Born
message.
Crime?
Listen, hashtag Born a Crime. No more stock. I don't want to see you run any more stock, okay? You move up, that's it. No going back. Thank you very much.
The trash heap has spoken. Yeah.
That's an intervention.
Yeah, there's an intervention for him. But no, he kind of has to move up now, don't he? He's won this, so he has to go up. That's how it should be.
There's no rules.
There's no rules. But congratulations to him. It was a hot competitive stock class too. They were doing similar lap times as the mod guys. Like, so, you know, that whole stock versus mod debate started. So, I don't know. I don't get involved in that. My boy Larry was talking about that. He's like, well, let the mod guys run stock and see if they can do the same lap times as the stock guys. I'm like, of course you can do it because they're driving a car that's more power, harder to drive compared to a car with less power. I don't know, man. I like that whole stock separation class and things like that, but people got to move up. Like, there's some guys been racing stock forever. Who was like the big stock champion back in the day? Was it like Andy Smolnik? He ran like stock forever. Even when he was like even when he's like a fully paid pro, he was running stock.
There's so many ways, actually, like thinking about it, there's so many ways how RC could be not only more interesting, but like even more fun for people who want, like for people who want to race and see how good they can be and who want to sort of make it in racing, if that's the thing. If it was more structured, I think it would just be so much cooler. Like I can imagine, like, okay, so I progressed now to the next level, and okay, now I won this championship, now I got to the next level. Like, do you see what I mean? If it's something where it's like you build up step by step, I think it would be good.
I think so too, man. We have like one of the classes that we consider like the upper echelons of RC. You know, like I consider like 8 scale nitro racing to be the like, I don't care what anybody says, the glory and I think it is the top class of what we do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think it is because it's one of the hardest races to win. There's only been one double champion, you know, and like it's the upper echelon it's the Formula One of RC. Then I would put like 2-wheel drive mod below that, 10 and then 8 scale. I will put 2-wheel drive mod and then probably just below that. And this is no offense to the on-road guys. 8 scale, you know, the real Formula One type car, like the 8 scale Jeep that Kalari won 10 times. In the ranking of history, it's just sad to see that this race doesn't get the publicity that it should, the hype that it should, and like this race, I really hope that Roar or some track steps up to the plate. And it's no disrespect to the track at Gaithersburg. I know they worked their butts off to get this done, but I would just like to see something different. We've seen this track 2 times in 5 years. Let's go out. Let's go outdoors. I mean, let's have an Astro race track. I don't care. Let's have an Astro turf track. I don't care. Let's just do something different and let's figure out a way to make, like, this is a great race. Let's make it better. And congratulations to all the winners. I picked Fen to win and I won this week. I'm giving out lotto numbers. I'll send my PayPal address. You pay me and I'll send you your lotto numbers. Look,
it's 10 scale on some tiny high grip track. Like, yeah, okay, big deal. Well, that's not a surprise.
See, you just blanketed my joy. I pick Fen, he wins, and you want to blanket. He dominated. Okay, not in truck, but in the 2 classes that
how many nationals does he have in 10 scale? 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive?
Quite a few, I believe.
Exactly.
Hey, don't be mad at
surprised.
My pick.
Let me know when he wins something in 8 scale.
One thing about you, man, you just blanket and kill all my joy. I think that's all I gotta say. Here. I noticed. I think that's all I gotta say about the nationals. I didn't really follow it. The biggest thing for me was Mayfield and Tasman not being in there. Tasman, we didn't even talk about that, dude. Hold on. Before we go anywhere, we got to talk about Tasman not making the 4-wheel drive, man.
Was his dad there?
I believe he's there. I don't know. I didn't see any pictures of Gord. He did good. He had a good race with Rivkin in two-wheel
Actually,
drive.
four-wheel drive. How did he not make the main in four-wheel
Exactly.
drive? The X-Ray is
Like-
really good on high grip.
That's what I don't understand. Like usually he's winning these races or in the top 3. Crazy.
He must
Crazy
have not
times.
been running 10 scale.
Maybe not. Maybe
He has
not.
a girlfriend.
He has a wife, not a girlfriend.
Oh, he got, sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he got
I saw the
married.
pictures.
Yeah, I did too. So congratulations. We already congratulated him. He actually got married. So, but
He's one step ahead of me. What are you laughing about?
because any girl know crazy mind wants to marry you. They're crazy. They're nuts. They don't know what they're getting into at all.
Like, oh, they have to accept that they are basically my carer.
Hey Joseph, did you eat? No, I've been too busy editing. Eat, like force feed you with a test tube or something. Hook you up intravenously. Anyway, man, I ain't got much more to say. Anything you want to say about the 10 scale nationals, Joseph, that you did not watch?
Yeah, I didn't. 10 scale is so boring on those tracks. They just follow each other.
I you know what? There was some decent racing in the back, but yeah, I kind of felt that way too. I'm just like, okay. I've seen this before. Fend, nobody challenges him because he's the phenom, and Keenan picked him to win. So, you know, I just
Amazing
don't get
job.
I just don't get excited. I get excited at OCRC races for some reason, though. It's like the only 10 scale track that I like watching. So, no idea.
Wonder if I'll ever race 10 scale again. I'd actually
Yeah.
Actually, there's a race in Finland I might do.
Yeah, you're probably going to get some crazy idea of trying to compete at the Reedy race in 2023 and be like, oh, I'm all about 10 scale for 6 months. Oh,
Open class.
10 scale.
I
10
think my
scale.
invitation days are over.
OCRC. Were you to OCRC? It's all
I
about 10
never
scale.
got to win a invitation race. I was close.
Yeah, you did come close, but then you was just
I think I got second.
Yeah, because you probably started first.
I can't remember.
Anywho, I think that's it, man. We've been doing this for an hour and 12 minutes. It was just a random chat. No advertising, no nothing. Thank you for your time, Joseph. I appreciate it. Let us know what you guys think about the 10 scale nationals. I know some people were just like, like meh about it. Let us know what you think about that Serpent car too. Do you think I'm onto something there? You think Serpent's onto something? I do. I don't think whatever this guy thinks. I don't worry about it.
I just hope it's good enough to actually race. So
Yeah, I hope
good.
so too. I hope so too. If anybody gets one, let me know. I want to know what you guys, what your thoughts on it. Let me know. And yeah, I think we'll be back next week with a full pod with your questions and everything. This is a little bit of our less is more type of vibe too. So with that said, I would like to say thank you to all of the NNRC squad around the world. Thank you guys for your support. Remember, next week we'll be doing a live. I'll be doing the Sourest Candy Challenge to raise money for the Blooming Prairie RC track and their Paint the Track Pink Cancer Benefit Race that they have on September the 11th. There's a GoFundMe for that in the written description of this podcast. Share that, please, people. Let's raise some money for them. I'm counting on the NNRC squad to get in and do that for us. And then watch me, I don't know, maybe hurt myself next week. It's not hot, it's sour. And thank you to the patrons of the podcast. Without you guys, we can't do this. Thank you for keeping these bills paid. Invisible Speed online course unveiled the four pro guys that will do the walkthrough. You got Kyle McBride, Cole Ogden, Ronald Falk, and Robert Battier. So if you want to have a one-on-one with those guys, sort of a one-on-one, but a walkthrough with those guys, pre-order the Invisible Speed online course at invisiblespeed.net. You can pay in installments, and yeah, it's going to be good. I know it's going to be good. So check that out. Shout out to all of our awesome sponsors of the podcast. They are Mayako, Beach RC, High Tech RC, TNR Fuels, Techno RC, Sun City RC Raceway, Lugs Racing Tires, JQ Racing, Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, Donovan RC, Racecraft USA, RCGP, and of course, House of RC. JQ, thank you for your time. Thank you to their sponsors for all their support. Remember, everybody showing the sponsors some love shows the podcast some love. If you want to get anything from their sponsors, the links are in the written description of this podcast. We have coupon codes for you to save money. Joseph, anything to say to the listeners before we go?
Invisiblespeed.net, or for installments, courses.invisiblespeed.net.
There you go.
That's it.
Yes.
That's all you need to know. We're in the business of making RC racing more fun for people. And it's more fun when your car is working, you beat your friends because you know how to drive.
That's actually a good sales pitch. Very good. Very good.
It's true.
Very good.
That is true.
All right. Thank you for your time, dude. I will be talking to you next week because you'll be coming on next week to answer people's questions and talk more RC.
Will I?
I know you're going to be busy. So, but you know.
Yeah, no motocross now in the near future. So
you just need to sell that bloody bike. Sell it.
Sell
the bike.
Anyway, too much fun.
Nitrous Lorry, e-bike pays the bills. If you ain't grinding your siding, Lefty and Beaker are out. Check you later.
Thank you for listening to the No Name RC podcast.
That wasn't so bad.